Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
It's a Friday, time now for Home Repairs and Solutions with Mark and Mary, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Amana dealer. Here are your hosts, Mary Pearson and Mark Withers, and good morning, guys.
Good morning, Dan, and welcome back. We missed you.
Well, thank you very much. It's good to be back. It's good to leave, and it's good to be back.
Everything's good. Yep. It's always fun to go on vacation, but after a while, you're ready to go back.
Mm-hmm. Well, they say the best thing you do is going on vacation. The second best thing is coming home.
That's true. I think that's exactly right. I agree with you. So anyway, I'm just real happy that you're back and glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
He's great. Dan
he
is just
He's
great.
Awesome.
And, quite the history in radio, and he's got that good radio voice. He knows the business. He's the man.
And he keeps us on track.
He does.
And that's got to be a full-time job.
I have been in radio a long time.
Yes, you have.
Yes, you have.
Just never was smart enough to do anything else.
Well, I don't know about that now.
I don't either. I think you're an all-around great guy. So.
Yep. Have to agree.
Thank you very much.
And Mark, welcome. I'm glad you're here today.
Well, thank you, Mary. I'm glad to be here.
It's fun. This is our favorite day of the week.
Yes, it is.
We love to come in and do our show.
Mm-hmm.
And today we have a super exciting show.
Yes, we do.
Lots of really good information for all you listeners today. Yep. Probably some new information you weren't aware of. And lots of good things happening. So maybe we should give out our number because we might get some calls today.
We might.
And if you have a question or if you want to talk to one of us here, you can give us a call at 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. And I think we'll just go right in and introduce our guest today so we can get started.
I think we need to. That's right.
We have with us today Lance and Andrew with Bolivar Insulation Solutions. And they have a lot of great information for our listeners today. We're going to talk about all the different products they offer. They've changed their name a little bit. Lots of good things going on with them. So welcome to the show, guys. We're glad to have you here today.
Thanks for having us.
You betcha. One of the things I thought we might start out with is your name. Bolivar Insulation, a lot of people, including myself, for a very, very long time, thought you guys were just an insulation company.
Mm-hmm.
That is not true. So whoever wants to take the mic, just go ahead and give us a start and just tell us a little bit about what you guys do and different things you got going on.
Well, Mary, we've been in business for 64 years, and I think for the most part, people know us as Bolivar Insulation. And about a year and a half ago, we put the name Solutions in there. So now we're Bolivar Insulation Solutions, and we provide a service that we don't just come out and give you maybe what you want, but we try to give you what you need on several different products. And a lot of people don't know, and I'll just tell you about a few products that we have. Some you may be aware of, and some you may not. But of course, we do insulation. It's in our name, and a lot of people don't know that we do spray foam insulation. We do open and closed cell. We do fiberglass insulation, and we do cellulose insulation. We also provide siding, soffit and fascia, guttering. We do windows, both new construction and replacement windows. We do garage doors. We have a system called inside-out underdecking, which is a product that if you have a two-story deck on the back of your house and you like to use the space below, when it rains, the water leaks through the top and goes to the bottom. We provide a solution that we can make that the ceiling of your bottom waterproof and get the water out of there, so you can turn that into almost a 3 seasons room. In the middle of August, you can't sit out there because on your top floor because the sun beats down on you. But you can sit in the bottom floor, but it's annoying when the rain comes through. So we provide a solution for that. We also carry columns We do energy audits, which is a big thing with all this energy savings push. We do crawl space systems, and that's for the crawl space. Everyone around here has, if you have a crawl space, has some.
I think most people do here in this area.
Most people do, unless you have a walkout basement. Slabs are becoming more popular, so you wouldn't have a crawl space if you had a slab. But if you do have a crawl space, most everyone has a certain amount of moisture under there. And
Sure.
And if you have too much, or if it gets mold's always an issue when you have moisture and you can't ventilate it. We provide a solution for that too. We also have storm doors and entry doors. So, and one thing that's unique about Bolivar Insulation Solutions is we install everything we sell. A lot of times people think that we may just be a distributor, and that's false. And we still get calls, and it shocks us that we sometimes don't know what people actually think about us. But people are still confused that we only sell to contractors, and that's just not true. We sell to everybody. We sell to the public. We probably get a call every week or two wanting to know if we sell to the public, and a lot of people are surprised by that. So we're trying to rebrand ourselves and get it out there that we are a solutions company, and we sell to everyone, whether it be to the homeowner or to the contractor, whether it's new construction or renovation. And obviously we provide free estimates. And we at Bolivar Insulation, we really have four operating principles that we live by. The operating principles are quality products, quality workmanship, reliable, dependable service, and business with integrity. And every decision that I try to make, and I have my sales guys make, I try to make them keep that in the back of their mind, that's how we operate.
So people need to think of you not just as an insulation company, obviously, because of all the other products you provide, but they also need to think of you more like a contractor instead of a wholesale house or something like that.
Yeah.
Where they can come in as the homeowner. Well, they don't have to come in. They can just call you if they have a situation, and you can come out and send whoever the professional is in that field out to their home and help them find a solution, like you said, to whatever their particular situation is.
Yeah.
And that's something that I was not aware of at all, that you guys could do something like that.
Yeah, that's correct.
You know, there's so many times that as a homeowner, we don't know who to call. You know, we may need new windows, we may need some extra insulation in the attic, we may need new guttering or whatever. So you're wondering, who do I call? Who can I get to install it? Where do I go to buy it? You're one stop. I mean, you know, they can call you. Like you say, you install the products, besides just selling the people the products. And when you come out, you may see something else that is going on out there that you can help them with, as far as, you know, well, you know, here, just because, yeah, your window's bad, but you need some new siding too, or, you know, you need some new guttering, whatever. You guys can do all that.
Yep, Mark, you're exactly right. And there are several occasions where people will call us for, or customers will call us for guttering or insulation, and we go out and we find that their windows are old and leaky, and their siding and their fascia is old and maybe falling off, and it's amazing. We just, you know, mention, hey, did you know we do this? And I can give you a quick estimate why we're here. And it's free. And Andrew here is one of my salesmen here in Springfield today. All the products I just mentioned, he can bid each and every one of them, which is just like all of our salesmen across our 6 locations. Everyone is trained and can bid, obviously free estimates, everything that we provide.
Okay.
And wow, over 60 years in business, why, you guys got a good reputation in the Southwest Missouri area, no doubt about that. So yins are a trusted company. Folks can go to you and have that peace of mind that yins are going to do what you say.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. We got a caller holding on. We got Mike here in Springfield. Go ahead, Mike.
Hi, good morning,
Good morning.
folks.
Morning.
You guys captured my attention. The gentleman from Bolivar Insulation Solutions mentioned this process to make the bottom area below the rear deck of the house waterproof, so to speak. Would you please elaborate on the process, application, materials, costs, and labor, just a hypothetical square footage? I don't know what size my deck is. And if you could just elaborate a bit more, I sure would appreciate it. And I'll hang up and listen.
Appreciate the call, Mike.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, it's called a underdecking system, and it's made by Quality Edge. And what we do is on the underside of a deck. We can take what's like a solid soffit panel. It acts as a drip tray, and we can install that to where it's on a track and it's floating below your deck, and it's at an angle to where when it rains, and of course rain's going to get on your uncovered deck, and it's going to drip through, so it gets on those drip pans, and those pans allow that water to be channeled away from the home. We'll put like a run of gutter on the underside, but the outside of that deck, to where those pans can drain into that, and then with a downspout, that water will be relieved like into your yard or onto a splash block, just like the rain that hits your roof would. And it's a really good way to allow that area underneath a two-story deck to be used without it getting the regular wear and tear that you would get from most weather, and especially moisture tends to be a problem. And if it's underneath the deck, that moisture, when it gets down there, it's probably not going to dry out quickly. It's probably going to be somewhat trapped down there, and it could just kind of cause that area to be unpleasant a lot of the time without some pretty regular maintenance. And this system is designed to not necessarily be 100% watertight or waterproof, but to channel that water away from there to where you can put out your lawn furniture and spend time underneath there and allow it to almost be like an outdoor living area.
Sure.
That was a great question, because when you were talking about that, system, I'm thinking, okay, so the water drips down through, and then where does it go? I was thinking, because you don't want that trap there. So I'm glad he asked that, because I was going to ask you guys that same question, and because I thought you've got to have somewhere for that water to go. You don't want it trapped between the bottom and the deck and the underneath part of the deck. So
obviously, if it traps, it's always potential for mold growth.
Oh, sure.
So it does. We put a little slope on it, and it channels out, like Andrew said, into the guttering system we carried away from your house. And I do want to mention for the caller, if you go to our website, which is BolivarInsulation.com, I believe that is on our homepage, the inside out or underdecking system. There's kind of two names for it. It's made by Quality Edge. There should be information on our website, or you can check it out at QualityEdge.com also. But as far as the price, there's a lot of variables that go into it. It's pretty hard to quote something without seeing it, because it depends on obviously the size of your deck, but how difficult it is. If there's a cantilever on it, but we'd be more than happy to to come out and give you a free estimate, talk you through it. We actually have a little sample we can bring for you, and the works. So, and I'll let Andrew go ahead, and if the caller that just called in is listening, Andrew, you can go ahead and give your phone number out. And
right, for anybody who'd be interested in a free estimate, or just listens to the show and comes up with some questions or concerns later on, you can reach me at 844-2398, and I'm going to have my phone on me, of course, the rest of today, but also in the weeks to come. So you may feel like you don't need anything from us today. You may not have any questions for us today, but in a few weeks from now, if you decide you're ready, have my number close by. It would be a nice convenience for most of you, I would imagine. And once again, that's Andrew at 844-2398, and we'll give that out again later in the show.
And we always forget about stuff. I'm the world's worst. It's just like going to the grocery store and you think you got everything. You get home and you realize, oh, I forgot this.
You're missing something.
You're missing something. So that's, hey, we all do that. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And the other thing they can do, and our listeners have done this before, if you come up with something later on, you can always call in here, and I always have everyone that's on the show, I always have their numbers available so we can give it out at some other showtime too if they lose yours or forget yours or something. But
I did want to mention one more thing about that inside-out system. I just had dinner Monday night with our Quality Edge rep from Chicago. Got one from Chicago and St. Louis, and they were both in. And they said that product last year, this is only their third year with that product, and they grew 340%.
Wow!
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, just from from the first year to the second year, and this is their third year in the business. So it's catching on. People are realizing that there is a safe solution. What I mean by safe is that it's not it's not going to leak, and it provides a solution, and you can use that space.
I think
space
that's a
below,
great
so.
idea.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a great idea.
Absolutely. We got another caller holding on. We got Aaron here in Springfield. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yes, sir. Do you keep any kind of guttering that has a protection over the top of it to keep leaves and stuff out of it?
Yes, sir. I'm glad you asked about that. We offer some different types of leaf guard, kind of a good, better, and best, and this is actually a great time of year to address those types of issues because fall is over, all the leaves have fallen, and when spring comes, we're going to get some heavy rains, and if your gutters are clogged up and they're not cleaned out, that can cause the gutters to overflow and really defeat the purpose of having gutters in the first place. What we can do is come out there and, of course, get a free estimate and let you know what it would cost to have our guys clean the gutter out of debris and then put that leaf guard over the top of it. And what that leaf guard is going to do is protect the gutter from any debris falling in there or settling in there that could clog up the gutters of the downspouts. And it's still going to allow that gutter to collect the rainwater. It's really a good thing to have. Of course, not all homes have mature trees around them, but any that do, if they don't have the tops of those gutters protected in some way with some type of leaf guard or gutter guard, and there's different names for it, they can really be dealing with a potential problem. If those downspouts get clogged up, it's really difficult to get them unclogged, and it's a lot simpler solution to just get that leaf guard on there and not have to worry about it again.
Okay, you don't have to replace the gutters that you've got on there now then?
No, sir.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in.
You know, that is so important, and I don't think a lot of folks realize how important it is to keep your gutters cleaned and maintained, because it can really cause you some serious problems. You know, we're getting into the time of year where, you know, we may have ice tomorrow, who knows, or snow, and if your gutters aren't working properly, stuff collects in there. You end up having ice dams because your gutters is not draining out. It pushes back up under your shingles. You get leaks and everything else. And even the fact you want the water channeled away from your house, you want your downspouts working properly. There's so many things that the guttering does that a lot of people don't realize. And so it'd be a great idea to, I don't have mature trees in my yard, but my neighbors both do. So I have to clean my gutters out just like everybody else.
Yeah, because it's going to blow into yours.
It blows right over on my roof.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know. And I've honestly, one house I moved in one time had saplings growing out of the gutters because they'd never been cleaned or maintained.
We've seen that before too.
Yeah, and so guttering is very important.
Well, Mark, you make a great point. If you know the gutter is designed to channel the water away from your house, and if your gutters are full of debris and it's not allowing that to drain, that water is going to go somewhere.
Right.
And it's going to go to the path of the least resistance.
Sure.
And you mentioned it, whether it be back up underneath your fascia or back up underneath your shingles, and it's going to go somewhere you don't want it to go. It's going to go somewhere. You're almost, I tell you, you're almost better not having any guttering at all than you are having clogged gutters. Because if you don't have any gutters at all, it's going to at least fall off into your yard. It's going to cause ruts, but at least it's going to fall off into your yard and hopefully drain away. If your gutters are clogged, it's going to get back up into your house, and that's when you're going to have some serious problems. So
absolutely. Yeah. We got Al holding on down Branson. Go ahead, Al.
I've got house about 3 years old, got guttering on it, but I've got one area where I've got a screened-in porch, I guess because the screened-in porch adds a little more roof area. So when we get a big rain, I think the technical term is gully washer, it just goes over the gutter. I mean, it runs through the gutters, but it also runs over the gutters, I think just because there's just too much water.
Mm-hmm. One thing you can do is... Sorry, go ahead.
Is there something that can be done about that?
Yeah, one thing, if the gutter's collecting the water, but then the gutter's overflowing because the water's not escaping fast enough, one thing we can do in that is upgrade the size of your downspouts. Most standard residential downspouts are just a 2x3 inch downspout, and it's easy to upgrade to a 3x4, which really doubles the area of square inches the water has to escape. And if you think about taking a cup of water and a bottle of water and dumping them both over at the same time, that cup of water is going to empty a lot faster because it's got a wider opening to escape. And it's the same idea with that water in your gutter. Now, if it's that the water's shooting over the gutter because of the overhang of the roof being a little further out there than most, we can put a 6-inch gutter on there instead of your standard 5-inch gutter, and that's going to make the gutter itself bigger. But usually the most practical solution is upgrading those downspouts to a larger size so that water can escape more quickly.
Okay, but there is a bigger gutter if that. Well, so what would you do? Would you just do the bigger downspout, or you guys can tell by looking at it, or what?
We could get a pretty good idea from looking at it what would be the best thing to do, and yeah, you'd have a couple different options there. If it looked like just upgrading, the size of those downspouts to a 3x4 instead of a 2x3, we can do that, and that's going to be fairly inexpensive, and that'll likely be a practical solution for you. If it is the case to where you've got a lot of roof area and those 5-inch gutters are just not enough to hold the water that's coming down, we can put a bigger 6-inch gutter on there, and that's something that most residential homes don't require. A lot of commercial buildings require that, but larger residential homes do often need the 6-inch gutters. Most of the time it's not necessary.
Okay. So since I'm in Branson West, I can just call your Kimberling City store down here?
Yeah, Al, and I got that number for you here if you want to write it down. I'm glad Al mentioned that. I was wanting to go over our locations anyway, but we do have a Kimberling City location, and Al,
that's the one you guys torched, right?
It did burn down.
That's the one that burned down pretty quick, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I managed that branch for 4 years, so that was pretty hard for me to swallow. When that was my home for 4 years. So, but we're operating as normal down there. Of course, we had some warehouses right next to that we're operating out of 100%. It really didn't slow us down at all. But Al, the number there is 739-2200. And you'll want to talk to Delroy down there. And to add to what Andrew was saying, it'd be nice if we could just come out, and of course we give free estimates. Just take a look at it. It could be Al, that your gutter may be installed a little bit too low. It could also be.
Don't say too much. You guys put the gutters on.
Yeah, I realize that, and I'm glad we did. And I was gonna ask you that, but and if we did, we need to take care of that, obviously. But do you have trees around your house?
Yeah.
Most.
Yeah, and you guys
put the gutter
guard on.
We have gutter guard. Okay.
Yeah, and we had a couple trees that are, pretty close to the it's a back screened-in porch deal. And there's two trees that are real close to that. You know. So
yeah. Well, there's a lot of possibilities. So I think it'd be good if we can just have Delroy come out there and take a look at it again. And I appreciate you calling. Okay.
Does he like to do it in cold weather?
Absolutely. Be
right.
better.
Thanks, Al.
Okay. I got a question for you. Which is worse, a gully washer or a toad strangler?
I don't know, Mark. Which is
well,
worse?
that's
Do you know do you have the answer? Or?
No, I don't.
Oh,
that's
okay.
why I was hoping you could enlighten me on that.
Well, I guess if you're a toad, it's not good for you. If you're the toad,
yeah.
But I don't know.
Just asking. Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. If anyone knows the answer to that, please call in because we don't know.
We don't know. That's right. Toad strangler or gully washer.
Only in the Ozarks, right?
Oh, that's
Ozarks.
true Ozarks lingo right there.
There you go.
That's right. So, 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056 is our numbers. If you'd like to give us a call and talk to the guys from Bolivar Insulation here, or talk to me or Mary, why, we're here to serve you in any way we possibly can.
That's right. Answer your questions and make your life easier.
That's right. And right now, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back right after this.
This is the Wall Street Journal Report. I'm Jennifer Kishika. Home sales rose 5% last month, a little less than expected. Frank Sorrentino, CEO of North Jersey Community Bank, says home buyers are finally starting to take advantage of low mortgage rates and affordable house prices.
I think combined with all the other things that we're seeing occurring in the economy is creating a much more confident place for people to make decisions either to buy homes or to build homes.
Shares of Google slumped 8% after the internet company reported disappointing quarterly earnings. The average cost that advertisers paid Google per click declined from a year ago. Fed officials are waiting to see how the economy performs before deciding whether to launch another bond buying program. The Fed meets again next Tuesday and Wednesday. On Wall Street, stocks are widely mixed. The Dow Industrial's up 55 at 12,679. But the Nasdaq is down nearly 6, and the S&P 500 is off more than 3 points. This is the Wall Street Journal Report.
Who is the conservative that can beat Obama? One man. Newt Gingrich. Here's what Michelle Bachmann had to say about Newt.
He made an indelible mark that literally changed the course of the United States. He was Speaker of the House from 1995 to 1999. He was almost better known than our president during those years. He made such a strong mark.
Her praise didn't end there.
He was the architect of the revolution that wrested control of the House of Representatives from 40 years of Democrat rule.
With Newt, we balanced the budget 4 years in a row, paid down $400 billion of debt, cut taxes, and created 11 million jobs. Michelle Bachmann is right. Newt helped change history once. He can do it again. Go with Newt, the man who can beat Obama.
Newt Gingrich, thank you. What a treat, Speaker.
Paid for by Winning Our Future, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
When looking for a quality pizza, you need a place that makes everything from scratch, using fresh ingredients and 100% real mozzarella. And if you can air up your tires, squeegee your windows, and grab yourself some beer nuts for the ride, even better. Casey's General Store, a convenience store, and a whole lot more. Right now, you can get a large pepperoni pizza for just $10.
The Grammy Museum at LA Live in Los Angeles presents George Harrison, Living in the Material World. Step inside the world of the Quiet Beatle and experience the musician, songwriter, filmmaker, photographer, book publisher, and dedicated spiritualist in this groundbreaking interactive exhibit. Tickets available now at the Grammy Museum box office. George Harrison, Living in the Material World, now at the Grammy Museum in Los Angeles. For more information, go to GrammyMuseum.org.
The Bible talks about wealth, riches, and money. For many, these are part of the American dream. This is Benjamin Davis, Senior Pastor of Abundant Life Covenant Church in downtown Springfield. Join me this Monday at 10 a.m. on KWTO AM 560 to hear what God's Word has to say about these subjects. An ounce of wisdom is worth a pound of gold, so I'm excited to dig into God's Word and discover His truth.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. 6 people were injured in a fire this morning at the Missouri Hotel on Commercial Street. 3 residents of the hotel are being treated for smoke inhalation. 3 firefighters suffered minor burns. Flames broke out in a room on the 2nd floor. More than 100 people fled the burning building. A second person has died as the result of an accident earlier this week in Branson. 90-year-old Lucille Hogler of Harrison, Arkansas, was fatally injured in a crash that also took the life of Western Taney County firefighter Angus Walker. And 3 people have been critically injured in a shooting in a parking lot along Highway 54 north of Osage Beach. All the victims are reported in critical condition. 2 people, one of them a juvenile, have been arrested. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
Today we'll see a mix of clouds and sunshine as we wrap up the work week, a high 47. Mostly cloudy, brisk, and colder tonight, low down to 19. Mostly sunny and a cooler start to the weekend tomorrow, high of 40, low tomorrow night 35. A mix of clouds and sun and warming up for Sunday, high of 60, low Sunday night down to 28. Partly sunny as you head back to work on Monday, high 50. A mix of clouds and sun for Tuesday, high 55. I'm AccuWeather's Jason Lord.
We have 33 degrees in Springfield.
Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And you're listening to Home Repairs and Solutions with Mark and Mary, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Amanda dealer. And once again, your hosts, Mary Pearson and Mark Withers, and their guests for today.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for being with us today.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's always good to be back.
Always good. Yeah.
We're always glad we make it through the break.
That's right.
No crisis or no disasters or anything.
Yep.
And we do have some great guests today. Getting some great information out there. Got some great calls coming in. So, well, first of all, I want to know what you're up to this weekend.
This weekend, really don't have a whole lot going. Gonna finish cleaning the garage out and stuff. No music this weekend.
No music.
No, we had a great last weekend. Of course, we had our big monthly jam for our Greater Ozarks Bluegrass Society. Did that last Friday night and had a wonderful time. Had a lot of new people coming and joining and stuff. And but I guess really the next big thing I got is my buddy Gene Reisner, him and his group that he had about 20-some years ago, White River, was huge in the country gospel world. They're going on tour, and I get to be part of the road crew on that, and that'll be about the second weekend of February, and then, of course, we're working on our big Convoy of Hope fundraiser that's coming up March 3rd, and wow, it's really starting to grow on us. We're getting a lot of response on that. And, so I've been working on that, so not a whole lot of playing going on except that kind of stuff. So
that's okay. You can take a little break from music once in a while. It's
every
all
now
right.
and then. Yep,
it's all
that's
right.
right. So
yep. Well, we have some friends coming down this weekend and gonna hang with us at the lake, so we're excited about that. So
there you go.
Yep.
Hopefully it'll warm up this weekend. I think it's
supposed to. It's supposed to be great. We, for winter, we have been extremely fortunate with the weather.
I've been really fortunate the fact that I don't know too many weeks that I haven't had or been able to get the old Harley out of the garage and take a little ride.
My dad's been riding his too.
It's been super. Of course, this is the Ozarks, so that can change real quick.
In a heartbeat.
But the farther we get into the year, it's not going to last. If we do get hit,
right.
it's here a few days and it's gone. So.
Well, one good thing about this kind of weather we're having, you can still get outside projects done.
Yep.
Because the weather's been so cooperative. And that's kind of what we're talking about today with our guests here from Bolivar Insulation Solutions. And so if you have some outdoor projects or some things that need to be repaired or taken care of or done, the way the weather's going, you could have it all done before spring, and then you're good to go.
Yep.
So, if you need something done,
right? Yeah, absolutely.
Give these guys a call.
I know they would love to come out and give you a free estimate on anything that you might need, whether it be doors, windows,
siding, gutters,
garage doors.
I like the decking idea.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. I didn't even know there was anything like that available.
Oh, I think that's so neat.
I think that's really neat.
We have a lot of us will have especially if you got a 2-story house, you got a deck that you think down below. Well, I want to sit outside in the summertime. It might be raining. What do? I can't sit under it because I'm going to get all wet. This is a great solution for that. I think people will really, really love that.
I think so too.
Well, there's one more thing. How many people like to go out and drink coffee in the morning?
Sure.
And it's not just the rain, but the dew.
Yes.
The dew also gets on there.
Right.
And the simple dew will prevent you from doing that at certain times of the year.
Yeah.
That's and the number one reason people buy this is because if you don't have anything underneath that and you look up, what you see is conduit, maybe wires, and your old or just kind of ugly framing. The main reason people buy this because it just looks nicer.
Yeah.
It's a great look. It's a very clean look. So it surprises us that people buy it more because they want to get rid of the look on the top of the deck there than to actually channel the waterway.
Wow.
But it just happens to channel the waterway too. So
works great.
Yep. We got a caller holding on. We got Roger and Branson. Go ahead, Roger.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can't think of too many things that'll give you a better return than a furnace or insulation for as far as energy conservation are concerned. But had a call from City Utilities the other day doing a survey, and I'm kind of up in the air over this thing on which way to lean because I believe in conservation. I don't think you should waste energy, but I think it has to pay back to you, and you shouldn't do it just for the sake of doing it if it's not feasible for you. It's kind of like the furnaces in one of my apartment buildings. Is my average bill is less than $50 a month, but yet they don't make parts for my furnaces, so I'm faced with $75,000 worth of retrofit because of the new energy SEER ratings on the furnaces. They don't fit the rooms, they don't fit anything. So I don't know that that's a real return to save $10 a month on a utility bill for a small apartment like that. So those are the unintended consequences, I think, for writing the standards just blanket for everyone. But I got a call yesterday from City Utilities, and they were taking a survey of landlords, and what they are coming up with an idea, and they're just running it by us at this point, where they want to take some low-income people and provide them with energy savings on their apartment, and they would get a loan for that, and as long as they were my tenant, they would be paying on that loan. If they moved before the loan was paid back, the balance would transfer to the next tenant, and if the next tenant didn't pay for it, the landlord would have to. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of looking at it like this. I want the utility company to give me the best utilities they can give me at the cheapest price they can give it to me at. And I don't really think any of this is any of their concern, and I think they're branching out into an area that they don't belong. We have other agencies like OCAC, and I'm sure there's just a whole bunch of them that fill this need, and I don't know that the need is that great. It just seems to me it's just another bureaucracy to eat up funds and to cost the ratepayers more money. So I don't know. What do you think?
Well, one of the guys in our RE/MAX office that also owns rental property, he got the call yesterday also. He was talking to me last night. Our take on it is, it's going to be really hard to explain to a tenant that's moving in that, hey, these folks didn't pay it. It's going to be on your utility bill now. Or, what if we forget to tell them and they look at their utility bill and they say, why do I got an extra $20, $30, however much it is, on my bill? I didn't ask for this to be done. I'm kind of like you, Roger. I think they need to leave well enough alone. That's just my opinion. And let us property owners worry about our weatherization, or like you say, there's some really good OCAC. We've been meeting with Jeremy Atchley.
Yes.
With Energy Wise. Matter of fact, I had breakfast with him yesterday. And, there's some things that we can do as property owners. I think myself, city utilities probably should stay out of it, but that's just my opinion.
From a tenant perspective, though, I'm thinking, and I own my own home, but if I was a tenant and I was going to rent an apartment or a home, I don't want extra money to be paid for something that I don't own.
Yeah.
So as a
one
tenant,
more thing here, real quick on you, then I'll let you go. Is I feel the same way. Anytime I'm faced with a decision of making a major repair on any of my buildings, I always take conservation into account.
Sure.
And I do it where I can, where it gives me a return and it's affordable.
Right.
It's kind of like these people that say people want dirty air because they don't vote for everything out there that concerns with your air. It's just that it gets so ridiculous that it drives you crazy.
Yep,
but,
absolutely.
You guys have a good day.
Thanks for calling, Roger.
One thing with city utilities right now is that they already have in motion, so we might as well take advantage of it, is for city utility customers, there's a 20% rebate available to homeowners who do certain things like bring the insulation in their attic up to at least an R38, which is about 13 inches of blown fiberglass. There's also the same rebate available for homeowners that insulate the floor of their home with at least an R19, which is a bat of about 5.5 inches thick. And of course, those are both things we can do for a homeowner. And really, it is a good time to take advantage of those types of things.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the CU rebate. And also, whether you're on CU or not, there's other utility companies that have similar things going on. I'm speaking specifically to the CU rebate. But also, of course, you're going to be able to get that 20% back. It's going to allow you to enjoy some energy savings and save you on your energy costs. But on top of that, it's going to increase the comfort level of your home. If you're sitting at home in the evening watching TV and you have to grab a blanket because your feet are cold or whatever, that thermostat's usually right in the middle of the house in the hallway or something. And if you're sitting next to a window or next to an exterior wall, that is likely going to be cooler than what the thermostat's reading. Your furnace hasn't necessarily kicked back on yet. And adding insulation to things like your floor and your attic are fairly easy to do. And it's also going to put less stress on your HVAC system. And if your
that's
HVAC
correct.
system is working less, of course, that's one reason why it's going to cost less on your utility bills. But it's also, your HVAC system is going to last longer, I think. Is that right, Mary?
Well, maintenance plays a big part on that. I mean, as long as you maintain it, then you're going to extend the life of the system. So maintenance is the number one reason that your system will last longer. But you're right, if it's not having to labor really, really hard because of lack of insulation or different factors, if you're sitting there and the curtains are blowing inside the house, you probably have an air leak situation that you probably need to take care of with your windows and that type of thing. So I have a question, though. Does that rebate apply to landlords as well?
I believe it's just the primary house. I don't think it's
Just primary residents, not to landlords. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they'll want you to be the homeowner, and I think they'll want your name to be on the utilities account.
Okay.
And but people that have taken advantage of this, it seems to be a very simple process. I've had customers tell me that the day we installed the insulation in their attic for them, they took their invoice, and they have to have the UPC codes from the bags of insulation that we use, and we provide that for them. And they've gone straight to city utilities offices as soon as we were done, giving that information to city utilities, and city utilities wrote them a check on the spot, and that's what I've been told through them.
They're very quick at getting the rebates out. That is correct.
I know that CU will give you the option of either applying that to your utility bill, or they will just write you a check for it. And so that's a good thing to do.
Sure.
And it's a really practical investment on your home, is making sure that it is properly insulated. Of course, some homes are already properly insulated and don't necessarily need to take advantage of that rebate, but it's a good thing to do.
I do agree with Roger, though. If you're looking to do something like that, you do want to see about getting a payback on your expenses.
Right.
And there's lots of programs out there available to do that. So if you're thinking about doing something like that and you're not sure what's available for you, or if you're going to get the payback, excuse me, then you need to call Bolivar Insulation. They can help you with what's available for you in your area. Like Andrew said, it's like with our heating and air conditioning system. CU has great rebates on it, but so do some of the other outlying utilities.
Sure.
So whether you're a city utilities customer or not, there still could be some rebates available for you in the area that you live with the utility company that is providing the service to you. So that's something you want to check into when you make sure you have a company out there that's going to do the work and help you do the right thing, that is aware of what's available. Don't miss out on a rebate or something by calling someone who's not keeping track of what's going on and on top of things.
Yeah. Well, the number one reason why people add insulation to the house is normally energy savings and energy costs, and that's
Sure.
obvious. Here with CU, you get a 20% rebate if you add up to their standards. But something that a lot of people don't think about is it also increases your comfort level. And what I mean by that is if you have a leaky, drafty house that's not very well insulated, you're always cold. And this time of the year, you're just always cold. I know when my house gets real cold, I have to walk around in long sleeve shirts and house shoes. Well, insulating your house, you could walk around in a t-shirt and hopefully barefoot after that and be more comfortable. But just your furnace runs less, so it's less noise in your house, and it just increases your overall comfort to the house, and that's worth some. To me, that's worth that's adding value to your house, and that's got some value in it. So
certainly, I think that's correct.
Sure.
If there's some people out there that aren't necessarily thinking they want to be on the radio, but they want to be able to talk to me afterwards, whether it's to get a free estimate or just because they have some questions and they want some advice, once again, you can reach me at 844-2398, and I'd be happy to help any of you folks with anything that I can. I do want you all to realize that there's more ways to help with energy solutions than just adding insulation to your floor or to your attic. There's other things we can do. We've touched on windows, and of course there's energy efficient windows available. And even if it's the case that you're not looking to replace your windows, but it's drafty around the seal of those windows, we can caulk and seal those types of things. We can come out there and see what solutions we may be able to help you with. They have foam-backed siding now, to where if you don't think your exterior walls are properly insulated, if you have an older home maybe, and you want to add insulation value to those walls, if you're going to be remodeling the exterior of your home anyway, you can add insulation that has a foam backer on it, or excuse me, you can add siding that's going to have a foam backer on it, and that adds insulation value. And there's also things, we offer garage doors, insulated garage doors, and that's a good thing too. A lot of garages are not insulated, and they don't necessarily need to be if you don't heat and cool your garage, but you do have a wall that separates your living area from your garage.
Right.
And if that wall's not properly insulated, you don't necessarily want to tear that wall out and just insulate it, but you can make sure that your garage is properly insulated, and that's sometimes an easier thing to do.
Mhm.
One thing I remember a couple weeks ago, I was listening to y'all's show, and you had some people calling in about moisture problems in their crawl space.
Right.
And that's something we deal with too, is crawl space solutions. We have anything from just an inexpensive moisture barrier that's required for some homes to pass for a federal loan. If somebody's looking to buy a home with a federal loan and they need that moisture barrier in their crawl space. And we also have things that are going to be more of a long-term solution, a permanent crawl space system that's going to include a drainage mat and some 20 mil plastic poly that we put down reinforced, and that has like a 20-year warranty against strips and tears. We can tape and caulk and seal that to their posts in the crawl space and to the foundation walls, to where you're basically cutting off any of that ground moisture from having access to your home. And for homes that do have a moisture problem in their crawl space, that can, looking long term, that can be a serious problem. If your floor is framed with wood and that's exposed to moisture over long term, that can start to rot and mold and mildew and give you some serious problems, and eventually to where the point to where you're going to have to call your home insurance guy and say, hey, my floor's rotted out, we got a problem here. That can be a big problem and a big inconvenience to people.
Sure.
And a big expense.
Yeah, replacing a floor is very expensive. And it's the air. I mean, you dealing with the HVAC, Mary, you know that if they're breathing that air, it's not good for them.
That's right.
And anyway, so controlling the moisture in your crawl space really is something that most of the time people don't spend a lot of time with their crawl space. If they're not looking at it, if they're not thinking about it, they're not necessarily aware of that being a problem, or even if they know it's a potential problem, they're not looking at theirs and they're ignoring it. But anyway, it is something that can be a wise investment, and something if you have a problem with moisture in your crawl space, you definitely don't want to ignore it. It's just going to cause bigger problems down the road.
Absolutely, yeah. And me, especially being on the real estate side of it, we see it so many times. A person is going to sell their home. We have a home inspection, and we find out there's a major moisture problem down there. It just creates so many problems because, then you're forced to address that problem. Right now, even if you're not even thinking about selling your house, one of these days you might, go ahead and take care of it now ahead of time before we come down to where we say, okay, here's the home inspection. This is what it come back. You got water in your crawl space. Now you got mold growing everywhere. Now we have to disclose that. Plus the people don't want to buy your house now. It's something that everybody ought to check and maintain that crawl space. I've learned a lot in the last few weeks dealing with Jeremy.
I'll bet.
Crawl space encapsulation and different things to make a home more energy wise. Another thing is the fact of a lot of times duct work after time falls down and does not work properly, and it's all combined into there.
We're about to run out of time. I could tell you a real quick story.
Okay.
Nathan came in today, showed me a picture he took on his phone yesterday. He went out to some people's house. Their trunk line is made out of wood.
Really?
It's not even metal.
Wow.
Yeah, it's made out of press board.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, wow, this is a problem waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So, there can be all kinds of interesting things happen, and with the moisture with that, I can promise you they're going to have a problem. There's just no doubt.
But it's great to know that folks can call you guys and you have a solution for their crawl space.
Why don't you give out your locations? You have more than just a couple locations around, so if people in our listening area, there might be a location closer to them than Springfield, and that they'll know how to get a hold of you guys no matter where they live.
Yeah, I want people to know that I do go outside the Springfield area, and I don't mind driving an hour from here to look at somebody's situation, but we do have 6 different locations, and so if you live outside the area or you have a relative or somebody you want to tell about us, we have Joplin, Kimberlin City, Springfield, Bolivar, Camdenton, and Columbia, and all those locations are Bolivar Insulation. They're established. They have guys that are trained and they're professional, and of course our Joplin branch has been kind of overwhelmed.
Oh, I bet.
I'm sure it has. And they weren't damaged, were they? Your Joplin?
No.
I didn't think so. So they're still in business and going strong. So people up in that area, if you have some issues and some problems still with your homes, you might want to give them a call and get some help.
Been great having you guys on today.
Thanks for coming, guys. This was a great show.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, this is Home Repairs and Solutions, heard every Friday right here from 10 to 11 on AM 560 KWTO with Mary and Mark. Mary, have a good weekend.
You too, Mark, and I'll see you next Friday.
Okay.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.